So something I've always wanted to do, and something that I'm fascinated by, is closed terrariums. There's something almost magical about just nature itself, how putting soil, plants, the tiny little insects that we can't see into a closed space and, sealing it up, it can sustain itself. Asterisk. Obviously, sometimes there are factors that go wrong, but we deal with that. And side note, these sort of things that I'm fascinated by and thinking about closed terrariums, they always make me think about space colonization. Why don't we go to the moon, stick a glass bubble there, and just put some earth there, you know, and plant trees, whatnot. That's how I think we're going to colonize the moon. But beside that, and probably Mars as well, I went to the dollar store and I found this, and on most sides there are these little markings that make it hard to see through. I think this is the best side to look through. But I'm going to put a little closed terrarium inside of this. Hopefully this will give inspiration to other people who aren't so sure if they want to do it. It's sort of hard to first pick out a glass container, then decide, do you want to just grab stuff from outside or use a mesh or gravel from the store. I'm just going to do everything from outside. Even I'm not going to get tweezers, I'm going to find two thin sticks to try and move things around. So, yeah. Now follow me into the woods as I pick my bounty to put in here. Just walking through the path, and if you look closely, you can see the celery I'm composting. Yeah, so the reason I'm doing this video today as opposed to any other day is it just had a good rain, so I'm thinking the soil will be nice and loose to dig up plants, and secondly, it'll be nice and loose to test out my new tripod, which is just two paper clips. I'll show it to you in a second. Okay, here's the brilliant idea I had. Literally just stuck two paper clips in the ground. Last video I made where I looked over writing with charcoal. I really wanted to find a place to set up the camera, which is just my phone, so I think I can just place it very easily into there. I'm going to test this out. So I've gotten it to work somewhat. It might fall shortly because I have a stick sort of propping it up. The only issue is the elevation's bad, so I have it looking up at me, and I have to, the way the paper clips are set up, it sort of slides. It's not the best angle, so I had to make do with what I had. And I think it might start raining, so I'm going to have to make this quick. I think we're fine for a minute though. But I actually got distracted. I brought this little straw, and when I was younger, I had an obsession with new instruments and also very simplistic instruments, making my own instruments. And something you'll notice more and more about me as I make these is I like very simple things. Something about the fact that I don't know if you can see, there's a hole, several holes. There's 6 holes in this straw. Only one of them matters, really. But it actually has a function, and if you see my knees, it's because I'm squatting awkwardly on a log that's a little too small. So let's see if you can hear this over the wind. I'm not sure if you will be able to. I hope you could hear that, because it's raining and I'm not going to try to do any better. Just the other day, as I was composting that other celery stalk, and oh boy, it's a bit windy, I hope you can hear me. I was composting a celery stalk, and I also threw a carrot there, but you couldn't see it. I planted this clove, or this, I don't know what it's called, bunch? It's definitely not a bunch. This garlic, it had already been sprouting, as you can see, right there. So then I just planted it a couple of days ago, and another sprout has come up. So I thought, better to send it to a better bury it here and let it grow than send it to a landfill, where it will become green gunk Something about the way this path looks up here just feels like I'm venturing through medieval England. Gotta get to the next village over. The wind walking through the woods is reminding me of when I was a kid. I'll give you this little anecdote. I love Star Wars, still do, and I convinced all the neighborhood kids that I was one of the Jedi Masters from Star Wars. Convinced him it was real, convinced him that I was on the council, and that I was sent there to train them to become a Jedi as well. And I have this problem. I do stuff like that all the time. If it's not Jedi Council, it's wizards. If it's not wizards, it's spies. If it's not spies, it's... oh god, there was a whole number of things I did. But the wind, I got very, very good at predicting when these certain plants would blow because of the wind. And they were far away, so you couldn't hear the wind coming yet, but I could always see, because I practiced this. So if these kids ever started doubting me, and I was a kid at the time, I was probably like less than 10 years old, if they ever started doubting me, hello bug, I would just go to those plants, do the motion when I knew the wind was about to blow, and they never questioned it again. So, just another good thing walking through the woods remind me of. If you have a day off, just take a walk through the woods. You can spend as much time as you want, and I think you'll feel like you wasted a lot less time than if you sat on the computer for 3 hours than if you walked through the woods for 3 hours. You're alone with your thoughts. It's pleasant. It's healthy. Go to the woods right now. Stop watching this video. You can watch it after you take a 5-minute walk through the woods. The 5-minute walk will probably be 10, and you'll thank yourself for it. So just to go back to the charcoal video, this is that X that I drew on a tree. It's been a good 2-3 days. It's poured all of those days. This is one that I drew minutes before, much better. Both of these endured hours of showers, and they're still here. So I hope that convinces you even more about the greatness of charcoal drawing. So I wasn't having any luck finding pebbles along the trail, and I said let's go to the stream that runs along part of this walkway, the more public part rather than the private one. And I can't find any here, so I guess no false bottom. That means no pebbles or gravel in the bottom, and I think I'll just do dirt. It's nice and wet here, so I can scoop it up, because I'm just using sticks to put it in this cup. I didn't bring a shovel or anything. And the plants, I'm not going to do anything extreme. I just like simple things. Tiny things that I think will fit nice. So I've got mostly soil here, which I think I'm not going to use that much because it's a small container. I've got 3 plants, all different. I got a little twig, I got some moss. I might pick up another small twig or wood chip. If I can find a rock, that'd be nice to put in there for texture. And I'm hoping, springtails will appear, because I'm not going to bake this soil. I'm just going to let it be natural. If these plants were growing on their own, I don't think I'll need to bake the soil at all. Well, this campfire's still here, so I'm going to grab a couple pieces of charcoal, because I know it keeps the water and air fresh in closed terrariums. I could be remembering that wrong, but I'm still going to grab some. So I completely forgot, right outside of my apartment, there's little pebbles that look like this. Didn't even need to go looking for that. I'm sort of just unobservant. So I guess we will start false bottom, then charcoal. I might save 1 piece of charcoal to go on top of the soil, just to look nice, why not? Then soil, then plants, and decoration after. So we'll start this. I don't know if I have enough relative to how much you need. I'm sort of just going to feel this out, because that's what feels right to me. So as you can see, that's a very thin layer. But I think I'm just going to leave it that way. And if it doesn't work out well, I can always pop it open, dump it all out, and try again. But we'll see how just a thin layer of this works. Soil now in. I'm just going to organize it with a pencil, I believe. And then for the plants, I don't have tweezers, so I'm sort of just gonna have to rely on digging a tiny hole with a pencil, poking it, and then sticking them in there. Uh, yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. So this is the final result, and the biggest tip I can give from having done this myself is don't shake it. No, just kidding, obviously. Moss. If you look at the side, you can see moss, and it looks like a nice grassy forest floor. From this side, okay, looks real messy. That's sort of the plants, but you can clearly see dirt there, and it's unattractive. Dirt, a little moss. So moss is good, is what I've concluded. A second tip is use clear glass. This is blue glass, and it was like painted on or something like that. This makes it sort of hard to see, and on top of that, I use the most distorted side of this glass to put the pretty moss. So I made a couple errors, but I think it's going to grow in nicely once the moss covers everything. And, you know, it was just a fun little craft project, and it was done for under $1. You could do this for literally nothing if you already have glass to put it in. So if, you know, the only step that's holding you back is you don't have a container to put it in, I'd say first look around. You probably do. Second, just go to the dollar store and get one. Get a mason jar, for goodness sake. And if your problem is, well, I don't want to go outside and do it, recording this video in total took me about an hour, but that's because I enjoyed the walk through the woods. If I had just done the terrarium itself, never taken a photo, never stopped to talk about my childhood, this would have taken about 10 minutes. So I would just advise doing that.